Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown, and you're in tune to SPRB Radio, the station with integrity. Remember me tell you, Lloyd Brown giving full endorsement to the thing. See it? So SPRB Radio, I beg you, kick it to it. Let's go.
We can reach our people with one word of love. And if you're grateful, get all you dream of. Showing you're able, you're made of the right stuff. Right stuff. We can free your mind with one act of good. Living your life like you know that you should. One aim, one art, one love, and one blood. One blood. Peacemakers, nobody hiding and no tears, warmongers. Created nation of fears and first solidarity. Unity is a must. Make we fight this good fight with your weapons of love. Young daughters who know fear, respect, who know self and all others. Putting pride upon the shelf. Young brothers, do unto others as to you. Everybody live good. We can free your people with one word of love. And if you're grateful, get all you dream of. Showing you're able, made out the right stuff. The right stuff. We can free. We can free your mind with one act of good. Living your life like you know that you should. One name, one art, one love, and one blood. One blood. This your one now for you. Friends, family, Rasta man and ballad too. Your time for stand up now and speak the truth. Show by your actions, your intentions good. Rise up and stand up now for justice and love. Let all the vanity, give Jah a thought. No chat about your neighbor, now give him a pass. No mix up reality, you go on like it last. In the past.
Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown, and you're in tune to SPRB Radio, the station with integrity. Remember me tell you, Lloyd Brown giving full endorsement to the thing. See it? So SPRB Radio, I beg you, kick it to it. Let it go.
What a dog, wicked.
Marcia, know about it.
Marcia Davis. So we finally make it happen after how many years of trying to get you on my show. I'm telling you, you're not just a busy bee in capital letters. You're one of the most hardworking sisters I know. And how many years later, 8 years later or so, here you are on my show. Finally, we make it happen.
I am so glad to be here, so honored and humbled. I've got to get rid of my son doing that slidey dance across the floor on TikTok, but I've done it now. I'm just so honored to be on this show. And I'm glad that we caught up because our sentiments are so much alike, and the vibrancy between us is just like, and I'm thrilled to be here. And then Sharon, me old party. It's
that's
really
my
great.
sister, man. We got few years back. Not a long time ago. What's here?
A long time ago.
A long time. That's my
When
sister.
we never have so much gray and I'm here.
Mine not one or two somewhere in there, but yeah.
You can't talk, Marcia. Look at me. What have I got to say for myself?
Well, there you go. I saw your picture and we talked earlier, and I was going to do my quick touch up in the bathroom. I was like, what feel? You're 50 plus now.
I tell you what my excuse is, right? One day I was making dumpling and too much flour went up in the air. And voila. I was going to
And
date
then you
her, but I
came
said,
and
just
battered
leave
me
it.
on the head.
Bless
Oh,
up
God.
everyone who's in the building. We have Michael from, I believe,
Liverpool.
Liverpool. I'm
Yes.
a Liverpool supporter, so he's my best friend right now.
Hello,
I'm a
my
absolute.
hometown.
Are you a Liverpool supporter?
It's my hometown, bro.
Oh my
Ev-
God, we're
Everton.
twin souls.
I support the blue side.
Which
I
side?
used to, as Michael
Everton.
knows,
Oh my God, traitor!
I'm the traitor, actually, because I used to support Everton when I lived in Liverpool.
Oh really?
But when I came over to America, everyone expected me to support Liverpool, so I switched sides. So
Okay.
a lot of my Liverpool compatriots hate me now, like Michael, but love me for the music, Michael. Love me for the music.
I tell you what, we're going to start the interview now. Sharon, if you could do the intros, and you're going to start off the show today. So if you do the intros, we'll get going with the conversation.
Thank you.
Well, we just want to say greetings and blessings to all. I want to big up who's in the room. Of course, the one and only, my long time friend, Marcia Davis. Me can't believe. We want to big up who Amber in the building, Keisha Martin, Michael, of course, from Liverpool, and the one and only Rankinan. Oh, and we have Elle in the house. I am Sharon Mango, representing Royal Blend Productions and SBRB Radio. And we are so happy to have you, Marcia. You know the love I have for you. I'm so honored you're here. You are just this and God girl.
Oh, you make me feel so proud to be me.
The love, it's the love and respect. I mean, my brother was talking the other day. I forgot to tell. No, I told him he was coming on. He said, "Does Marcia know?" I said, "I don't think she knows it's me."
Exactly. So, I hope he joins us also. I haven't seen Kevin in a long time.
Yeah, man, he's around. We always talk about you, the good old days, man. We had fun.
Well, we're going to make some now good new days, because good things are coming. Lots of stuff has been happening for the past few years, and tremendous sadness in the world. But I think that as long as these collectives can get together and reason and share the music and share a vibe, like this morning, my love, the general, was dancing as soon as my tune came on. You should have, you saw me here, but my heart just uplifted straight away. And it's that kind of message that I want to send,
Yeah, definitely. And my amazing co-host, 10-star general. You know, some of my long time gooders, we went to school together in England. That's how far me and him go back.
Oh, wow. I did not know that.
40 odd years and counting.
Yes.
40 years and counting.
And look how good we look. See how God is good all the time. We try to keep up nice and we look after ourselves.
One big family. I tell you what, like I say, it really is a blessing to have Marcia Davis. She's a British lady living in New York, as the old, what's his name, Shinehead song would say.
Yes.
The British girl in New York.
I am that. And my accent's only kind of changed a little bit. It goes up and down, in and out, depending on...
You can bob and weave if you want. We like it like that.
I've got to ask someone, Michael Yearwood, has my accent changed that much?
Yes, yeah, a little bit. It has. You've lost the Scouse twang.
Oh my God.
Oh, hey, lad. I thought it was...
I like that.
Brilliant. Thank you, Michael.
Okay.
Well, Sharon.
Yes.
Take Marcia down memory lane. Let's find out who Marcia Davis is. You kick it off.
So Marcia, let's start with your humble beginnings out there in Liverpool. Let us know what was going on in your household, your mummy, your daddy.
Weren't humble. We were born to palace. No. My folks were the Windrush people. So mum and dad, they came over in the 50s to England, and my dad first to Walsall. And then my mum came straight here. As they used to joke amongst themselves, my dad always say, "You chum Millie, just because you come on the plane, you think you're this," you know. He came on the banana boat and my mum came by plane. So it was always a little bit of war going on, the haves against the have-nots. But so my humble beginnings, we lived in Wavertree in Liverpool, but in fact I was born in Toxteth, and Upper Parliament Street was my address, 240 Upper Parliament Street. So that's where I get, oh, we were born to royalty from. But by the time I was about 5, 6, we moved out to Wavertree, the suburbs, and it became a different life, because then I wasn't around so many of people of culture, color, and it was hard to connect as a person of color, as a Black woman or a Black child. It was hard to connect. And then the school I went to, which was Quarry Bank, which is also John Lennon's school, by the way.
Oh, look at that.
And yeah, so by the time I got, you know, we went to school, went to Lidderdale, the Morrison, and then Quarry Bank. And in Quarry Bank, it was much more diverse, and people of color tended to stick together, but kind of on the fringes of other gangs. So, you know, the cool kids, and then you'd be on the fringe, and the swatters, and you'd be on the fringe, and so on like that. So it wasn't really very much solidarity between all people of color, but they, you know, kind of stuck up for each other when the time came. Like when we'd play sports, obviously, and we'd often go back to those humble beginnings to play, you know, volleyball, basketball, rounders, whatever it was against those teams. And then at the end of the games, as was typical, everyone wants to fight at the end of the game, you know, but they didn't get us on our team. The team of Quarry Bank, I went on the other team because they were all my friends. So it was like, it was a bit of a mix-up. A dust-up, as we call it. But yeah, it was just a wonderful childhood. My parents were the greatest ever. Of course, I didn't notice it then. You know, they never did anything for me. They never took me anywhere. They never got me anything. The very same thing that my kids say to me now, but they were perfect parents. It was like they really gave us a well-rounded life, and the things that they couldn't do or didn't have interest in, they never stopped me from doing. And that's how I got into acting and singing, because they let me go to the drama club, you know, on my own at 10, like walking down Wavertree Road, looking for the drama club. But I went there, and that really set me on my path. And then later on, they enrolled me in the Liverpool Theatre School. All my Scousers on here, they remember the Liverpool Theatre School on, what was it, Penny Lane, like just before Penny Lane. And that's where I honed my skills and finally got into singing, because it was the shorter way, I thought, to get the fame and fortune, because, you know, you'd have to do a whole play, a long script, learn all of that. What, when you can sing, just write a quick song? So I got into my poetry, writing, and the music just came out of me.
So acting was your thing first, and then, or was singing, but you wanted to do acting?
Acting was my thing first. So as I say, again, the theatre school, you had to do everything. You had to be an all-rounder. So, you know,
Yeah.
the musical theatre came out in me then. I would play parts like Belle from, what's that terrible musical? T.C. Carney, you're supposed to know. A Showboat. There you go. So I played Fish Gotta Swim and Birds Gotta Fly, you know, that kind of stuff. And those led me to want to write my own song, because when we were in school, that actual Showboat script was given to us. And believe it or not, it was a very old script. We were given those originals from whatever the time was the school got them. And they said, it said, black folk work on the Mississippi, black folk work with the white one playing. But underneath, you could see where it said, colored folk work on the Mississippi. And under that, it said, Negroes work on the Mississippi. And, you know, I can remember me and a couple of other people of color in school just like, oh, why are we gonna do this when they're calling us niggers, man? And it was pretty hard for us to take the roles, but we did it anyway. We didn't fight back, so to speak, but that was the first, I think, my first role as a singer on a stage. Mm-hmm. And then came other pantomimes and things in school. I was the fairy godmother in the panto. If your mind is in the diddle and your heart is in the haze, I'll haze you diddle and diddle you. So I got all that musical theater back in me, and it was just such a pleasure to grow up in the theater and in Liverpool, where people are so creative and like share their creations with people.
And what was the age group at that time?
So let me see, for the pantomimes and stuff like that, I was in what, the second year, third year in school. So what's that, 13, 14, 15?
Yeah.
So coming up from my teens onwards. And the theater school then was after school as well. Sorry guys, I'm burning up here. I need to suck my watermelons. Oh gosh, gotta laugh.
Yeah, you have to laugh. So after school, so 13, 14, 15, 16, after school, where was your mindset now? Like, what were you, did you start working? Did you?
Okay, so I had, we used to go to this place called the Methodist Community Center, the Meth. And it was our community center for the kids of the area, as it was called, you know, the area. So I'd get on the bus, come up to the area to hang out with, you know, my counterparts, creative people, and so on. And it was there that I decided to start a drama group, because I was into drama. So I started the group Catalyst, which is still going to this day, 35 years later. Catalyst, it's a staple dance and drama group in Liverpool. They do many performances in England, in the Northwest, and I'm sure all over the country. But I just started teaching drama. Whatever I would learn in college or, you know, theater school, I would take it to the drama club and teach them there. And it just sort of progressed from there.
Wow, so it's still going.
The drama club is still going, Catalyst, yeah. They're on Facebook and stuff. I think their director now is Ian Ellington. And I was the catalyst for Catalyst.
You sure were. I'm like, wait a minute now, Marcia, you started. That's amazing though.
I was pretty surprised, because I didn't, you know, keep up with them when I came to America, which was in 87. And I got an email from a guy like a few years later saying, hey, you know, Catalyst, do you have any old scripts? Do you have any? Because I produced and performed in 3 plays before I came here, and they were Ella, which was a modern take on the Cinderella story. And it was way before that Brandy and all them did it.
Yeah.
I did it first. And excuse me. And I also did the play, the Phoenix Rises, A Lesson in Education. And that was about children in school just not getting the education that they thought was beneficial to them. And it spoke to the Black experience and the Black experience in school at that time. And I wrote that with a lady named Pam Fleming, who's of the library that was at that Methodist Center, Elimu Wanani. And these, oh, look at that. Michael's just said, Catholic Toxteth on Windsor Street. So that's brilliant to hear. But all these people like would, you know, we'd want to be able to express ourselves in the way that we thought was us. So the play Ella, you know, the story of Cinderella, she has 2 stepsisters. We made them rapping stepsisters. So every time they spoke in the play, they had to rap, they did dances, they had the ball, you know, Prince goes to the ball, and our Prince was a Rastamania, the spliff in him hand, and
Oh,
Prince,
wow.
what I mean, and yo, man, it was brilliant. And I played the wicked stepmother, so it was like, Ella, you gonna put the pot on fire, and all this. Then when they go to the ball, it was breakdancing because it was the 80s, so we had the whole team, Dennis and Michael Braithwaite. Michael, you could tell me.
You guys were a cast of rebels.
Yes, exactly. Dennis and Richard Braithwaite there doing the body pop and all these things. And the Ella, she was played by Sharon Patton in Liverpool, and she was a ballerina at the time, and so it made sense for her to be a ballet dancer and attract Prince Charming. But it was beautiful to see a young Black lady there doing all the moves that are, you know, Swan Lake and such are given credit for. But I had my own little Alvin Ailey troupe in Liverpool.
Oh.
It is all, because I wish I could see everyone now.
That's such a beautiful story, because it just shows, like, you, I would have to say you were ahead of your time. You know what I'm saying? You were ahead of your time. Something like that would work even now. What you just said, that would work now.
True, man. True.
You know what I mean? You were just totally ahead of your time, man. I mean, can't believe.
Well, fast forward a few years, well, a good few years, to 2016, I produced my own one-woman show, and I told these stories on stage with, you know, my acting, and I used audio-visual things. My son was doing the sound, so every time, you know, say for instance, I mentioned the fact that someone pointed a gun at me in New York, one of the stories. So my son would play, so it had these whole audio-visual things going on, and it was well received. I did a few sold-out shows here in New York, and I aim to put it on again, and maybe with the script a little different this time, but I'm still acting.
Oh, Marcia. All right, 10 Star, you know I love her, right? So 10 Star, you better get in, because me will definitely hug the mic.
You know, I tell you what, I'm you know, listening to your journey, and that's one aspect of yourself, because I've never read your bio. I've never been able to get a hold of your bio. However, it's like I'm hearing, you know, the multi-talented individual that you are, because I didn't know that part of your history.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm listening with glee. You know, it's like amazing that there's more to you than meets the eye. You know, I'm pretty sure you can take some of those shows, you know, and repackage them in New York where you are. You know,
Yes.
because Cinderella and the rebel cast that you were with, I call you like the rebel cast. You know what I mean? Because you totally flipped the script. You know what I mean?
Totally. As I said, it was the 80s and we weren't having it, you know. So I
There
love
you
that,
go.
the rebel cast. I
Yeah.
may use that line to revamp the whole production.
There you go. The rebels.
Brilliant.
I tell you what I want to do. I want to take you further back, you know, and, you know, thank you for sharing that part of your history with us, you know. But I want to take you back to again, the family home where mum was at home, dad was at home. I'm pretty sure most of us had this spaceship looking gram where you could put 10 records on one spindle, right?
Talk to you, man.
Right.
Let me talk to you now.
All right.
We talk about Marcia Davis Diamond Head Select, because that was my
Jesus.
sound system. Anybody who plays music here, has played a record player, knows that Diamond Head needle is the best needle you can get. So
You know it.
Diamond
Yes.
Head Select was my sound system, and we had a radiogram in the front room. You know, the front room, not the sitting room, not the living room, the front room.
Yes.
Nobody could go, nobody could sit down.
You too. You can get in there too.
Now, check it out. You had a lock on it. We know how to pick the lock and go in.
Oh
And
my God.
my parents had a beautiful orange rug, like a furry rug. And I put that in front of the gram, as it was at the time. We did eventually get a stereo, but the gram, and it have its side glass part with like the little shot glasses, loads of shot glasses. And then on this side is the gramophone. Put the, as you say, 10 records, flip. And then when you want to go back and rewind, you just come and you look at the hand, you hook the needle, and you bring it back, play again. Yo, wow. That was such a treat for me. My first records were When Will I See You Again by the 3 Degrees,
Please,
Love
yeah.
Ballad by George Benson.
Yes.
I think the 3 Degrees one was the one I purchased myself, then Love Ballads, because I love doing that. I didn't realize he was doing that on the guitar until years later. TC can tell you how that goes, right?
I tell you.
So doing loads of music, record-based shows. My brothers and I, or I should say my brother, because the one closest to me is 4 years older. So he and I used to do a radio show, and we're 9, 10 years old. And we do things like, the man is coming into his house now. So you could hear the steps, you know, we're recording all this, and he went into his bathroom, flushed the toilet, so you know he's in the bathroom, and then go on. And then Dennis is my brother, he'd say something like, Marcy is now going to sing the 3 Degrees, and we'd play the record in the background and I'd sing over and when will I see you again? And that's how we started it. You know, there was no karaoke back then. There were no lyrics on the sheet. We got them in Words magazine, and I think the Word and Smash Hits. That's where all the words from, and just put it together ourselves. And I think that now, I was reasoning with a person on here today about the fact that in my childhood, I used to do so many things. And it was because of the lack of many outlets. So you see, these things drove us to creativity. And now we've got it. We just tend to regurgitate crap, unfortunately. Yeah. And I'd love to to get that creative spring in me again and share it with everybody else, to just, you know, where it comes from. It's hard for me to describe, just coming out of that nature, out of the natural, out of a want, you know, a desire. And that's the best form of creativity to me, that natural yearning. Something to consider, folks.
Yes.
I keep on saying that, you know, and I've shared with Sharon, my friend here, you know, and, you know, how lucky we've been during our time growing up. You know, I'm a 60s baby, you know, and growing up through the years, going to drama, you know, doing the drama school, you know, we used to do drama classes and so forth. I used to play the tooth doctor, you know. I said, with this tooth, I will heal you, you know. And then as you grow up, you go thinking that I think I could do this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you go through that era in time, knowing that you can do these things. Then you go to music school because you had to learn how to play an instrument. It was either a flute or a guitar, or you learned to play the piano, or you did something.
The
Recorder, yeah. Girls, by the way, played the recorder. It wasn't a man thing, you know, but
no,
yeah.
stop your knives.
It wasn't a man thing. A man didn't play a recorder. We played the guitar or the violin.
You know, my brother played the recorder, and he played a treble recorder, which was a completely different key structure than all the others. So you stand there.
Right. Now, I have to say, my brother played a, what do you call that? Clarinet. Kind of like a recorder, but he learned to play the clarinet.
I believe the treble recorder and the clarinet's notes are the same. Anyone can tell me differently? Anybody of music here can tell me differently? Speak now or forever hold your peace.
Larry Webb, how you doing, sir? Larry Webb is shaking his shoulder. He say, I don't know. I don't know.
Larry, you're muted. And Larry plays the melodica, and we used to play that also in school, but it was called a soprano.
Right.
Remember the soprano and the sopranino, and so went through all that too.
No, the soprano, I know, shoot gun and take people money.
You joker.
You know all the bad sopranos.
Anyway, thanks for being here, Larry Webb, who is one of the singing members of the Meditations, you know.
Larry Webb of the
No, man, we have to expose you, man. We have to expose you. And you need to come on our show, too. I'm going to reach out to you.
No problem. Would love to.
Right.
It's Larry's birthday today, everybody. Please.
Happy birthday. Who's going to sing happy birthday to him?
Keisha.
Somebody has to sing happy birthday.
Well, I'm going to do it. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Larry. Happy birthday to you.
Hey. Anyway, we wish you more life and prosperity, you know, during these Earth Strong. And what a way to spend your Earth Strong right here on SPRB Radio. Huh? Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to our conversation, because, you know, everybody back in the day had to learn an instrument, right? Slowly but surely we saw, and really and truly, even though during my daughter's era in time, you know, she wanted to learn how to play the violin. So she did that for a while, you know, learning the violin. But somewhere along the line, there became a disconnect in the school system whereby it's like the industry was lacking players of instruments. And I want to talk about that maybe a little bit further during, the show here today, because when I look at the industry where we are today, in terms of when you grew up, me and you grew up, in our era in time, I remember there was a message in the music. We kept to the fundamentals of our industry, the drum, the bass was very important, and everything else was added, whatever, but you kept to the roots of the music. But somewhere there became a disconnect. I want to take you back to when you started to do music professionally.
Mhm.
In light of what I've said to you, what was your mindset when you decided to go professionally into music and you wanted to now contribute? Because now your voice is going to go throughout the world, So what did you want to contribute to the art form as you knew it when you were growing up?
Okay, well, my whole thing is authenticity, and I wanted to express what was coursing through me at the time. And even though we had civil unrest, economic disparity, and so on, my message, I wanted to portray a message of hope, that there is something out there. Like one of my song lines from one of my earlier songs is running doing laundry on a Wednesday night. That's not right. This life is too much for me. I've got to find my way out. And from the beginning of the song, I outlay that my intention, and then by the end of the song, I would have written the solution to show how to get to that point. So I find a lot of the music that was coming out at the time was regurgitative, in that people sing, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. And that was it. They were nice. It was like some songs, they kind of hit you a kind of way, but always with the same woe is me message. And then you got the other genres or other halves of the same genre preaching gun violence and murder and stuff like that, which I didn't agree with. And then the disparaging remarks against women and so on. Hey, so there are some songs that I like. I can get down with the wildest hip hop song if it's written right, if the flow is right, if I can move right. But for myself, I didn't want to really publicize that side of myself. It's not good for the health. It's not good for everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So before I hand over to Sharon Mango to take over, when did you, because I know part of acting comes the singing and so forth. When did you decide that you wanted to do this professionally? What was your mindset?
I think just being here in New York, as I said, I came here as an actress, and I went to every cattle call. Anybody who doesn't know, a cattle call is where they ask for actors to come for a part, and everybody shows up. And one of my most memorable ones was the cattle call for the remake of Charlie's Angels.
Right.
And I went because I was like, why not a Black woman, And I went in a business suit, I went in a pantsuit. Everybody else on that line was in heels and, fur coats and everything. I said, no, I want to look different. And I remember my weave at the time. The side part, long thing here and behind the ear, and my blue business suit, had my CVs under my arm, and, I was ready. And I remember being met by Johnny Depp on the line. And he was like, he'd just done 21 Jump Street at the time. And he came over and he's like, and you, where are you from? So I gave him a little spiel and so on. And he called his producer over and they were like, you could really do well as a newscaster. And I had my headshot. I wish I had it right now to show you. My headshot looked exactly like that. Like my face was bleach white practically, because back then they didn't know how to color people. People, you know. So this headshot was like that, and he was okay, you know. So I met Johnny Depp that day, but didn't get the part for Charlie's Angels. And so to get back to the point, I was seeking so hard to get acting parts and couldn't get them. And like I mentioned before, I thought that singing was going to be breaking in where the ice was thinnest. And I went that route.
Okay. Sharon Mango, I have to hand over to you. It's hard giving you the mic because Marcia is a very interesting individual, you know. So I begrudgingly give you the mic.
All right, so we start from there, like where, because I mean, coming to New York, of course, you know, that's tough in itself, but
Right.
where was your beginning? Like, who did you meet up with? Where were your people? You know what I'm saying? Who did you meet up with that helped you get to where you are now?
Well, it was an audition.
Okay.
Another audition. I auditioned for the Black Light Music Orchestra. And we all got together, and there was a drummer there, David Delgado. And he and I kind of clicked and we vibed together. He had a good friend named Coffee Bannerman. And he said, oh, my friends, they have a group. We have a group already. Come join us, come sing with us. So we just got together to rehearse. And so there was David Delgado, Coffee Bannerman, myself. Then we met up with Zach Glass, who's the son of the famed composer, Philip Glass. But he was a reggae musician. And Yasto Taga, who's from Japan. And then we met Carla Kelly, who's my very good friend and was one of the singers in our band, and Simone Gordon.
Oh yes, Carla and Simone, yes.
So we held auditions then for people to join that band. So in between these auditions going on, Zach played music with Louis Fleck. Louis Fleck is the brother of Bela Fleck, of Bela Fleck and Flecktones. So I'm in amongst musically people now. I'm in with the clique. And so I met Louis Fleck, who held a jam every Friday. No, I think it was, Fridays at the time. And he invited me to his jam. So yes, get ready for it, Larry. I walk into his space, which at the time was just down below the Twin Towers. And I walk into this space on Greenwich Street and I see a man there with some red pleather pants. It's like a middle of the afternoon, mind you. Red pleather pants and a gold shirt with some see-through sitting yesso and some long locks down there. And Louis says, this is Larry Webb. I said, oh, hi, nice to meet you. He's like, ah.
Hi, boy.
And that was my foray into the real thing. Larry Webb.
Ragamuffin.
So from the jam session, I was with another friend, Andrea Good, and Larry was like, you interested in singing backup? So on. And we were hired. But then came the rehearsals. Now, I've written a story about this as well, because as I've said before, I did the one-woman show, so I've got a manuscript full of these stories. And just to tell you, we went to that rehearsal. Well, we got the music to learn, and I played it while I was, you know, doing my cleaning, and oh yeah, I got that. Okay, got that. Knew everything to sing. And then we drove to the rehearsal. I drove into the Lincoln Tunnel. The rehearsal was in Manhattan at 8th Avenue. So I'm now driving to New Jersey, missing the rehearsal entirely. So I had to make a U-turn, which I tell you, do not do. Made a U-turn, come flying back through the tunnel, reach a Larry rehearsal. So we're now at least 40 minutes late. And we get up there and we started to sing. Oh boy, everything I remember just went, wee! You know how you can sing along with the record, but I was like, oh, yeah.
Where's that noise coming from?
Believe me, Larry was not happy. And I think Charmaine DaCosta of Whirl a Girl fame at the time, she was there too. And I could see her like, what are these going on? And Ras Dropper was playing bass for Larry at the time, and Paul Sutton on drums. And the two of them like, yo, what the? Embarrassment, brethren, embarrassment. So Larry took us to one side and he's like, yo, did you girls learn the music? I said, I thought I did. I'm so sorry. I just, blah, blah, blah. My friend Andrea, she was like, do you think I've only got your music to learn in the daytime, Larry?
Oh, wow.
I just shut up. Shut up. But we went on to learn things. It worked out well. We did a few shows with Larry. And then kind of Andrea retired quickly. And I went on to sing backup with Simone G for Larry at the time, as well as developing my own band in the background. So Larry was my very first foray into reggae music in New York City.
Oh, Larry, yeah.
Sharon.
So glad you're on to hear how I felt that day.
Sharon.
Yes.
Like how Larry's here, ask him to explain himself.
Yeah, Larry, talk up the things them. That was a big moment for Marcia. That was big, right?
Yeah.
It was big for me. How was it for you?
Do you remember that day?
Yes. Yeah, I remember that day. I mean, I was a little disappointed, but what I liked was I took them one side because I didn't want to embarrass anyone, and it's the first time working with me. So, I wanted to do my thing different from how other people do their things, because I was already different from other reggae artists anyway. And the one encouraging thing was I called her on the day of the show, and I called her early in the morning. I called Marcia early in the morning, and I heard my songs playing in the background. So I was like, oh, it's going to be okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
So I didn't trip about it. I never trip about it. I'm like, once I get on stage, whatever I'm presented with, I'll work with it, and do the best I can in the moment. The most important thing is to be in the moment, for me. So it was fine. It was, very professional. She's very professional. She's a hardworking woman. And when she was doing her other projects, I would, whenever I could guest with them, and whether I was shaking a little tambourine or playing some melodic or something, I did it to support in repayment,
Indeed. Thank you. And he paid us.
Amen. Amen. Thank you, Larry, for your input.
You're welcome, sir.
Yeah. Continue, Sharon.
Yes, Marcia. I mean, how I see that anyway is like it's a blessing you met. I'm saying because I'm here in New York and I know what it's like, because when I was starting out, it was getting involved and meeting like-minded people, and you were so blessed to have a person like Larry Webb. You know what I'm saying?
Can I stop you there for
Yes.
a second? I just want to, you can get bigged up on your birthday. Don't worry, Larry. But Larry is also one of the males that has never come on to me, that has never tried to, you know, get something from me, to get music from me. He's never misrepresented me. He's always supported me. And those things just mean so much in this business, because it's very much a dog eat dog business, sadly.
Oh, we know.
And as a woman in it, believe me, yo, we've come up against so many things. I've been held hostage. My music has been held hostage if I didn't give up a piece of whatever, you know, and those things hurt my heart. And so just to have a brethren like Larry, and someone, as I said, to be the first person to introduce me. So I got a good background, so to speak, a good foundation, and I knew what I was not to tolerate, because it could have easily been the other way.
Right.
Respect, Larry.
Right.
That's what we call the can of worms era, right? Can of worms just got opened there. So you can't let that escape you, Sharon.
Yeah, well, I'm not, because I fully 1,000% understand where Marcia is coming from. That's why I said what I said about Larry, because it clearly shows this man respected who she was at that time, because it was around the same time he was doing stuff. But at that time, it was an era where, I mean, I know it's still happening, but it was so much more back then that if you don't give something up, they won't give you a blight, you know what I'm saying? And it was going around everywhere. I have been there, and it hurts me to know that I put a lot of things on hold because I couldn't trust being around certain people. As a Black woman in the industry, as a struggling artist, you know, it's hard. It's hard, and you don't want to give up your self-respect. Nothing is worth that. I would have rather given everything up than have my name tainted out there because
DJ
I want this. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Exactly. You know what I said? Truly, right? So I fully get it. But Marcia, you endured. You persevered.
Yeah, I decided to take matters into my own hands and form the band we did. So the band originally was called the Cornerstones, but then there was another group with the name Cornerstones out in California. So we needed a new name. And everyone got together and was saying, we're doing all of your songs, Marcia. Why don't we call it like Bob Marley and the Wailers, Marcia Davis and Outro, which all seemed fine at the time. We were there, yeah. We came up with the name Outro out of a magazine, like a newspaper article. Something said outro. We're like, an outro, boom, opposite to intro, outro, woo. So we came up with that name. But then as time went by, some of those egos arose again, and like all of a sudden, within a couple of years, it was like, wow, why you the leader of the band? And weren't you the ones who proposed me to be? Wait a minute, what's going on here? And so it all got very twisted in the middle of some other male-female issues. And we ended up breaking up that version of the band. And I hired some other new musicians, and we got back together and became this version of Marcia Davis and Outro.
So let me take you back a second. We touched on the subject of your music being held hostage. Was it music that you wrote with people, and it was your lyrics, it was like your whole thing, and then because they didn't get what they wanted, or what happened?
It's still happening today. And the music that I produced, it was my ideas, my headspace, my music, my lyrics, everything, but I didn't make the, as we call them in the reggae music industry, the rhythms. So I didn't make the rhythms. I didn't make the background music. So that producer had that music. And because my lyrics or an idea are attached to it, they can put it out when they feel like it. And I can't do anything about that. And so I've got lots of music out there that were intended for albums and so forth, and have not been made, or have been made but not produced, from, you know, put out there. Me no boss. Me no boss. But I tell you, you know, I'm not going to mention any names, but a lot of people don't realize how influential they are with your career path by not doing certain things with your music. And it might just be one song in their whole catalog of things, but it stifled your career at a certain point. However, as you said, I choose not to let that deter me and go on. And anything that isn't put out for me, I'm saying, it's okay. In due time, I've got another thing coming. In due time, got another thing coming. And that's how it's been. So I've got about 5 singles ready to be released if some people will release them.
Oh, Marcia, I'm just saying, boy, before I hand over to my friend Tenstar, because like I said, I might system have to talk up the things them. So, so your lyrics now, do you own that? So you own it. So the only hostage thing is really the person who produced the rhythm, right?
Yeah, I could make them again. I did one recently. In fact, what was that? Saturday did I record, Larry? So I recorded something on Saturday that I wrote maybe 20 years ago.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, not gonna go on that. And funnily enough, the person for whom I recorded it before called me, and we were talking, and he said, oh, me hear the tune where you make, what day? And I was like, he's like, you put out that one before. I was like, no, actually, it's not been released. No, man, me you record it, you put it up. I said, no, it's never been released. So I was okay to do this one, not realizing that he had anything to do with the whole thing. So that's how obtuse people can be.
Wow. Wow. Well,
incredible.
It sure is. Tenstar. Go on with it.
Wow, where do I start? Where do I go? I mean, you opened so many can of worms. It's like, damn, you know. I want to take you back to how you got to. I know you talked so much about your American experience, but I'm more particular about how you got to America in the first place. What happened?
Me mad and me da. As we say.
That was a good Liverpudlian accent.
That was a good one.
Me mad and me da. So basically, my parents were enterprising people, as you've now realized. They came from Jamaica in the 50s, and they wanted to make a better life for themselves and their children, and embarked on any number of things that would make that happen. So in the later 80s, they wanted to come to America, and then from there retire to Jamaica. So they began making these plans, unbeknownst to me, little Chargy in Liverpool, not knowing anything, until I was about 16. They're like, we're going to live in America. And I'm like, you can go. No, I'm not. So the only, I was into America, but just by the way of movies, you know what I'm saying? It was like the Cosby Kids and that kind of thing, but I never wanted to go. And I'm a Gemini person by nature. I don't like change, but I'm changeable. So I don't like all of a sudden change happening. I get panicky and so on. However, I adapt to it very quickly. So by the time I was, I guess, 21, all the papers had been done. Everything was, and oh gosh, I nearly forgot about this bit. So in Liverpool, I don't even need to tell this story, but I'm telling it because in my true, authentic self here, I'm just telling the truth. So in Liverpool, I'm trying to find the word without it sounding so bad. Embezzled.
Oh Lord, you couldn't have chosen a worse word.
Exactly.
I gotta hear the end of this one. Go for it.
To be real. So basically, I tell this actually in my one woman show. So I'm going red. You can't see, but I am. But
I can see it. I can see it.
Yes, I had borrowed some money that I was partially in charge of to do something else to make more money. And you know how that goes. We're old now, so we know that you can't borrow from one thing and expect it to grow when it's not a good thing. So
yeah.
it didn't. And then the people were like, oh, no. Yeah, I had to sit down in front of 20 people and explain myself. Yeah. And I did so. And then I wanted to get out of Liverpool. So I was like, I'm on board for America.
America was your escape.
Me run, come here.
Lord. So you are a real, so I'm right, you're a rebel.
I'm a rebel. One of the people on here said the realest chick out there or something like that.
Oh, awesome. I tell you what, I'm loving your story. And again, what were some of the ethics or what were some of the learning experiences that mom and dad instilled in you that you took away that you're using with you today? What were some of those, characteristics or ethics or whatever, you may want to call it?
Don't thief. Number one, don't thief. I'm straight up. I did a bad thing and I knew it was bad and I shouldn't have done it. And I'd probably still being punished for it now. But my parents taught me the ethic of working smart and not hard, of enjoying myself, of counting my blessings, appreciating every little step of the way. And believe me, I got lost for many of those steps. There's been certain things that have happened in my life that you wouldn't even believe. I don't even think this is the platform really to discuss them, but trust me, I've seen the inside of a jail cell. I've seen the back of a hand. I've seen the top of a boot, but always to keep my dignity, always to stay true to my word, and just having stickability, because my parents had just enormous stickability. They stuck together, and they gave my brothers and sisters and I a foundation that not many little Black girls in Liverpool had. And I really used them as stepping stones. And to this day, I can, as you described, I can still feel the ripple effects of my parents' teachings. And I hope that I'm doing better now. Anybody on here who knows me, am I doing all right?
I want to again come back to the first time that I heard your song, and I had come across you on, I think it was Facebook, and knowing that Michelle Arthurton, Ed Robinson at the time were connected with yourself, and they had sent me a song which was called Too Much War.
Wow.
But also at that time, I'd made contact with you. And you had, me and you had a back and forth. You told me that you're, from UK and blah, blah, blah. And you got this song that you're trying to get out there. And I listened to the song, which was so powerful. To this day, it is prophetic.
Yeah, indeed.
Tell me about that particular song. Who wrote it? What was going through your mind at the time? And then I'm going to play a couple of bars of it.
Okay, so Sydney Mills, another very well-respected producer in
Let
New
me
York.
tell you something. Sydney Mills is coming on the 30th.
Yeah.
So your name is going to get mentioned.
I'll be listening in. But Sydney Mills is up there in the caliber of Larry Webb as far as all the ethical things that I've mentioned. And of course, his musical contributions to reggae music and all music. In fact, he's a member or was a member of Steel Pulse, and he has his own production company, SBI Records, Living Room, and all of that. So Sydney and Barry made the rhythm, and they sent me 5 rhythms and said, no, in fact, 11, and said, pick a rhythm and write a tune. So I picked 5, like Marcia's, and wrote 5 tunes.
Right.
And one of them was Too Much War.
Right.
So my children were much younger at the time, and I was trying to teach them something. My kid kept like, what's this going on? There was war in Baghdad or things like one. And I was just trying to teach them what my mother taught me.
Right. Too Much War is a powerful song. Powerful. Too much war, too much rat-tat-tat-tat.
Yes, man.
I can't do it as good as you. Give me a couple bars before I play it.
Too much gunshot, rat-tat-tat-tat. Dum, 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 dum. That's me playing the keyboard.
I'll tell you what, let me go into it.
Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown giving full endorsement to Stocking Promotion Royal Blend Radio. The station with integrity. The station with a difference. Remember me tell you, Lloyd Brown says so. Full endorsement. Stocking Promotion Royal Blend Radio. We now stop till we drop. Zane, bless.
Okay, so this is Too Much War by Marcia Davis. Take a listen.
Too much gunshot, rat-tat-tat-tat. Ooh, Too much war in our time, too much violence and crime, too much war, too much war, too many brainwashed men, too much corrupted governments, too much war, too much war. My son said the other day, Mom, why you look so sad? My face was a dead giveaway. I wanted to hide it so bad. I told him I had read the news of 2 boys just like him, whose lives were lost from selling drugs, and now they're in the system. I had to tell my daughter about why I felt so bad. She asked me of the slaughter of children in Baghdad. She asked me why our leaders send soldiers off to war, when it seems to her that they don't know just what they're fighting for. Too much war in our time, too much violence and crime, too much war. Pull it up again, pull it up again, pull it up again.
Ooh. You thought I could play this one time? You're sadly mistaken.
Yeah. war in our time, too much violence and crime, too much war, too much war, too many brainwashed men, too much corrupted governments, too much war, too much war. My son said the other day, Mom, why you look so sad? My face was a dead giveaway. I wanted to hide it so bad. I told him I had read the news of two boys just like him, whose lives were lost from selling drugs, and now they're in the system. I had to tell my daughter about why I felt so bad. She asked me of the slaughter of children in Baghdad. She asked me why our leaders send soldiers off to war, when it seems to her that they don't know just what they're fighting for. Too much war in our time, too much violence and crime, too much war, too much war, too many brainwashed men, too much corrupted governments, too much war, too much war, so much gunshot. There's too much disturbance in the ghetto. My mother looked to me and said, love, don't you feel so blue? Just look inside yourself instead and see what you can do. Show your children how to live their lives with grace and honesty. Teach them how to avoid lies and live with dignity. Give them hope by showing them the good in everything, and how to pass on that gift without asking for a thing. Explain to them it won't be so forever and for more, 'cause there can be peace in this your time, and there won't be no more war. Too much war in our time, too much violence and crime, too much war, too much war, too much war, so much war, too many brainwashed men, too much corrupted governments, too much war, too much war, too much war, so much war, so much gunshot, so much war. Too much gunshot, so much gunshot, too much, so much in the ghetto. Too much war in our time, too much violence and crime, too much war, too much war, too much war, so much war, too many brainwashed men, too much corrupted governments.
Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown, and you're in tune to SPRB Radio, the station with integrity. Remember me tell you, Lloyd Brown giving full endorsement to the thing. See it? So SPRB Radio, I beg you, kick it to it. Let it go.
Woo, 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 woo. Marcia Davis, she not easy at all, at all, at all.
Let's go.
Woo, woo.
Thank you so much, and thank you everybody for the compliments you were giving me on that tune. It was like making me blush. I was getting all hot under the collar.
Let me tell you something. I need a fan.
What's there? You light him up, man. You light him up. See there? You light him up.
Pure fire, pure fire,
Light him up.
pure fire. You know, that song to this day, I don't think there's any song that can top that song right now. How many years ago did you do that song?
That was, what are we in now? 2021?
Pretty sure it was like 2013, 2012.
No, it was like 2005, my bro.
2005!
2005.
Yeah.
But
We're talking, how many years is that?
So the recording came out a little later, but I wrote the song in about 2004-5.
We're
And
talking 17 years ago.
yeah, war was going on. That's why it refers to the people in Baghdad and so on, because that was
Yeah,
what was going on at the time, you know.
yeah, yeah.
And
Oh
as I said,
my days.
little then, and now them big, we can't chat to them.
You know, even though that song is yet to be recognized, I use that word loosely, right? But even though that song is yet to be recognized, that song is iconic. And if you know, you know. We've been busting that tune for years.
I really appreciate that.
For
And
years. And to this day, that song comes like a Bob Marley song. It just matures and gets greater and greater with each year that passes by.
that really makes me feel good. Just hearing it then, because obviously I don't play them over and over again, but I don't hear that one very often. And just hearing it again on
Afraid to play music, you know. We're not afraid, you know.
that would be good. Thank you.
Oh my God, no, there's nothing that can top that particular song. I'm pretty sure anybody who knows their music will agree with me, you know. And everybody was responding to that song lovingly. I'm pretty sure you saw the responses.
Yes, I was saying to respect. Big up, thank you.
Yeah.
Make me blush.
Your music has always been about living conditions and standards that conditions that under which we as human beings are living under. You know, where did that ethic come from?
My dad. Here I go
Oh,
again.
you
Me
gotta
dad.
explain. You gotta explain yourself. Sharon, take over from here.
Yeah. Go on, Marcia, explain yourself.
My
She couldn't
dad.
get away with it. She wanted to escape it.
My dad is from Keith, St. Anne. If anybody knows St. Anne, Keith is a little tiny district about 6 miles from Brownstown, and that's the closest town, if you like. So
Yeah.
it's our district has one main road. We have a top shop and a bottom shop, you know. Top Keith and bottom Keith, and I ate that. So that's where my father came from, and he was the eldest of 13, and he had to stay home and look after the cows and everything while the other kids got an education. And my dad was the smartest man I knew. My dad could wax philosophical on anything. Come to him with a conversation, he could just talk to you about it, talk your points, argue your point, everything. And he didn't have a formal education, or he had, partial education. And just him, and you mentioned at the very beginning, Sharon, humble beginnings. That's what my dad was from. And then come to England, meet his beautiful wife, grow his beautiful family, come back. And my mother already had children in those days. And, these are the 60s, and my mom's got kids to different guys already. And my dad married her and took, all them kids. And I'm the product of mom and dad. And my next brother to me, he changed his name to my dad's name. His firstborn son is my dad's name, just to show you what kind of a man he was. And my dad, when he passed away in 2012, all of those kids, all 5 of us, were there next to the grave. And just to show you how he touched people, you understand me?
Yeah.
And even now, when I go back to Keith, if you see them, boy, she had a living hide, man. God, my dad used to be called Hyde or D. And boy, she had a living hide, man. Come sit down. Boy, you're just like your father, Marcia. Anything people want, they come to me. You could call me a soft touch as well. But my dad was like that. And I just like to carry on that banner. It wasn't a conscious thing at first, but as I get older, I realize how much like my father that I am. And then my mom, she was just a graceful person. She's just dignified and graceful. Never hear her utter a curse word, so I don't take after her with that. But you know, that kind of grace and depth to her personality, she was just, you could go to her and be reassured of anything, you know? So having those two catalysts in my life just made me try to be the best person that I can be, if that can be said.
Yeah, oh, well, definitely. I think that the Marcia I know and have grown to love, you know what I mean? You can tell because of your upbringing, you know what I mean? You were just a people person, like your dad. As you speak to your dad, you are a people person. People naturally gravitate to you, you know what I'm saying? So, and when, I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I said, me, I sweat again.
Oh, we're gonna pull it all out of your Marcia. People don't know about Marcia. You don't say about Miss Marcia. So when you wrote that song and when the song came out, how well did it do for you though?
Well, we didn't have the mediums, all the mediums that we do now when it first came out. So it was played mainly on YouTube, but I garnered a lot of shows from that song.
Yeah.
People asked me to be on multiple shows. I went to Jamaica on that show, went to Australia and toured with Easy Star All-Star Band. And that was all on the basis of that tune and maybe one or two others that were out at that time. They were seen to be my catalog and people kind of gravitated towards me. Somebody just asked in the chat room if the song was available on Spotify, and I don't believe it is yet.
Anyway, it's not available anywhere.
Aha, you see there? There you go. It's available
I always wondered about that.
It's on YouTube. So basically I have to get back to Sydney, really, the producers, and Larry is texting Sydney as we speak.
To be honest, I'm going to call Sydney about that particular song, because that song, man, you are off the Richter scale with that song.
Oh, thanks, mate. That really makes me feel.
Sorry for butting in, Sharon. Continue.
Oh, no, you're all right. You know, that's the thing. Again, Marcia, I said something to you earlier on, and I'm going to have to say it again. You were ahead of your time. Your thought processes, your delivery, your writing, you were way ahead of your time, because yes, there was stuff going on back then, but there's war going on everywhere. There's war in the music industry. There's more out there on the front lines, Ukraine and this, that. You were just ahead of your time. And that song now is very relevant, more so than ever. In case you don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you realize that, but it's very relevant now. In the song, in this particular song, you talk about what your mom or your dad would say, and that's what's the beautiful thing about it. It's just everything encompassing mothers, fathers, the children, the wars, and everything that's going on. The song just displays it all, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
Of course, you've got to show your children how to live their lives, and as trying as they can be, you've got to hold them in a space of love. Just hold a little space. I'm getting teary-eyed now because I go through my challenges, and I know there are people who are on here that go through their challenges too. You just gotta hold that place of love and let the children know they can come back to it. There are too many people nowadays that I see don't talk to their families, and this one say, oh, No, me not chat to that one. No, I haven't talked to her in years. And that was so unusual to me, especially when I first came to this country, to hear that someone was not speaking to another person in their family like forever. I couldn't understand that because my family never been like that. And as you've heard, we were not all of the same mother and father, and yet
Right.
we're all like this, you know. And still to this day, I had my nephew here the other day, and he's 50 years old, and it was just like we were back in Liverpool, and oh, it's a beautiful thing. So just being able to teach your children that love is the answer. It is the truth. I don't care how hippie, la la, she, whatever it sounds. Love is the answer. You cannot fight hate with love, with hate. I'm sorry. You can't fight hate with hate. You can't fight darkness with darkness. You can't do those things. You have to allow, and that's a big thing. Allowing things to come to you. Allow love in your heart. If you feel that bitterness, if you feel, you know, an angst, a want, a need, you got to open up and allow it to happen. Allow yourself to be controlled by the forces that are within you and outside of you as part of the world. It's all a vibration, and we're in vibration with one another. If you're giving off a certain vibration, then guaranteed you're going to get that vibration back.
Yeah.
And it's when you're outside of that vibration that you know something is wrong. That's when you feel sick, when you feel bad about something, when you're not when you're not connected with your true self. That is when you feel those things, and you pass them off as, I'm depressed, I'm sad, I'm angry, I'm this, I'm that, and you're just not in connection with yourself. Remember your connection, remember the vibration, and get back to that, and I assure you things will change miraculously.
But if I can just chime in, because I'm going to let you continue, Sharon. One
Yeah.
of the biggest evils that befalls us as human beings, as I know it to be today, is the fact that we don't utilize the gift of choice that we were given by the Almighty God, which is the choice to forgive. You can choose to forgive, or you can choose to harbor those feelings. You know what I mean? And if you don't forgive, it weighs up against you in your life. It eats away. It really does eat away until, some people, I've seen some people have hanged themselves because they couldn't forgive,
People forget that you're doing it for yourself as well. You know, we have to be selfish. It sounds like a terrible word, but it isn't. You have to do this for yourself too. So when you're forgiving that person, you're forgiving yourself as well. You're forgiving yourself.
And it's not a sign of weakness either.
No. Forgiveness and vulnerability are two things that people really have to have in their lives. Oh, so Sydney says the song is available on iTunes.
Yeah. Good old Sydney. He's going to re-release it on there, I'm pretty sure.
Yes,
because I know for a fact he's not on iTunes.
Okay,
there you go. But yes, continue.
Just
continue.
Forgiveness, humility, vulnerability. You have to have those in your life.
Yeah. Go for it, Sharon.
I think that for us as women, I came to America in the 80s as well. You and I, again, we go way back, and I used to enjoy our conversations because our similarities, we have so many similarities. My family's from St. Anne as well, and you've gone through the gamut, you've gone through the drama, but the word I did use before is that you prevailed. And when I say that to say that you've learned all these things now in your life, whereas forgiveness is one. You're growing your children. You have to go through the growing pains of raising your children. interacting with people who just were not positive functions in your life, and then you come to a place where, you know what, if I take this all in, it's going to destroy me, or I release certain things and I forgive and try to even show my kids the right way, show them love, show them forgiveness. And I'm saying all of this to say that in society now, even when it comes to the music, there's a lot of lacking of this love and this unity, this unification that we as Black people, not just Black people, but all people, but primarily us as Black people, we need the unification, because there's just a separation of, well, I mean, I like this one, I mean, I'll do this, I mean, I'll just. If we all come together, and people like you, Marcia, because you're a great catalyst in this, you're in touch with so many people. If you continue to strive and do these good things, and let's try to, as you said, bring back the love so we can do bigger things than where we are now. Does that make sense?
It definitely does. It makes sense if one can recognize one's part in it again.
Right.
And I say that for the humility and the vulnerability. There's loads of people I can't stand. There's loads of people who can't stand me, you know, but I've got over it. I admit to the fact that not everybody likes me. I'm okay with that. And I'm okay with not liking everybody, but live and let live.
Right.
I don't want to show nobody no bad face. If I don't like a thing, I just won't go around it. Keep my side, not go outwardly to seek to bring a conflict or abrasion. You know, those things are not in service of the person I've become. So if you knew me when I was little and I used to fight, I don't fight no more.
You know, she reminds me of Sharon. You know what it reminds me of? I give you one guess. Barry Biggs.
Barry Biggs. Yes.
That's Larry's cousin, you know.
Exactly. Barry Biggs said last week, why? I don't know who I offended, Ted Starr. It must have been somebody I beat up.
But you know what?
He's a joke, that guy.
Oh my God. I didn't know. Did you know he was Larry's cousin, B? Did you know that?
Yeah. Larry's the one who told me.
Oh.
And somebody else from the I forget his name now, from the pyramids or Cinnerips or something like that.
Simmerip, Monty Montgomery.
Monty, yeah. Monty's your cousin too, right? Yeah. Another legend. I'm going to get them over.
My relatives. Hold on, I got relatives too. Guru Bantan is my first cousin. So
really?
Really?
Yeah.
Now, Marcia, that was an uppercut you gave Larry. That was an uppercut.
We got cousins. You see him, I hit him have to get up.
Take off the headphones. I said, no, I can't take that one there.
Got cousins too.
Reggae royalty. Continue, Sharon, continue.
Yes. Wow, boy. No, throw me off all on this. So anyway, Marcia, I'm saying we are here to celebrate you today, because as much as you've done, I don't think you realize your impact. You have such a big impact in our line of music. For real, Marcia, I got to tell you that. So your works is not done yet. You have big things coming. You understand? And I'm saying all that to say, you see what's going on in the reggae music world today, right? And it's actually a shame, because even when I used to come to shows, you know what I'm saying, when you was doing your thing in New York, and me and my brother and them, it was just such a love and unity of musicians, you know what I'm saying? It was a camaraderie. And there is so much crap going on today. It is a sin. What is your take on what's happening?
Don't pay any attention. It's what you give your attention to that you get in your life, and I don't give it any attention.
Oxygen. Take out the oxygen.
You know,
Yeah.
for real, you just cannot expect to have your dial on 93.5 and get 106.7.
Right.
So keep your eyes on the prize, keep your focus on things that mean something to you, that matter, and that are in line with the best for everybody. And trust me, you can't go wrong.
Nice one. B.
Well, let's acknowledge some of the people who are in there right now. We have Amber, who's been contributing on the outside. We have Beverly Notes, the great Beverly Notes singer, veteran, legend in our industry. We have radio DJ from Lovers Rock Radio, DJ Maestro, my brother from another mother. Bless up yourself. Lady Amore, I think that is.
Lady
And more.
And more, Lady and more. Bless up yourself. Nice to have you here. Nicole Ellis is also here, and we have the Foundation Pioneer Rankinan also in the building. Is there anybody else here that I cannot see? Because even though I got
Larry
on my glasses,
Webb,
I'm gonna see too. Did I mention
Larry Webb?
I left him out. Larry Webb. Bless up yourself, Larry. Yeah. And thank you all for being here. We normally get to a part of the show where we have this open mics kind of like session where we give those on the outside the opportunity to ask Marcia Davis any questions. We're going to get to that in a few minutes, but I cannot get to that period there without playing another song that stuck in my mind from the first time I heard it right up until now. And it's this song. Take a listen.
Yo, just the other day, Brett and Larry was telling me about the fact that 1,650 people were murdered in Jamaica last year alone. A young man, no be no bad man. A young man, no be no bad man. Young man, no be no bad man. Young man, have you the right to take the next man's life? And have you the need to live a life of greed? Hey, look around you. Nothing has changed. We're bleeding the same blood. Everyone's the same.
Listen, Sharon, let me tell you something.
Yes.
Marcia Davis is not your regular run-of-the-mill, right?
Yeah. No.
She not regular at all. She not regular. You know that, right?
Yeah, well, I knew.
Am I telling you anything that you haven't heard before?
You're not telling me nothing I've never heard before.
All right. Let me just play the tune.
Yo, just the other day, Brett and Larry was telling me about the fact that 1,650 people were murdered in Jamaica last year alone. A young man, no be no bad man. A young man, no be no bad man. Young man, no be no bad man. Young man, have you the right to take a next man's life? And have you the need to live a life of greed? Hey, look around you. Nothing has changed. We're bleeding the same blood. Everyone's the same. The shooting, the looting, the killing, the maiming, degrading your life just to be in the same gang. My government's lying, my sister's been crying. Every new year there's 1,000 more.
Hold on there. At the 10-star general, I drop them bomb there. Please, general.
The fact that
I'm sorry, I had to play it again.
Jamaica last year alone. A young man, no be no bad man. A young man, no be no bad man. Young man, no be no bad man. Young man, take an X-Man's life? And have you the need to live a life of greed? Hey, look around you, nothing has changed. We're bleeding the same blood, everyone's the same. The shooting, the looting, the killing, the maiming, degrading your life just to be in the same gang. My government's lying, my sister's been crying. Every new year there's 1,000 more dying, guaranteed, Young man, no be no bad man. 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 Call on the leaders who say they're the ones to blame. When anyone with their own mind can see that this is our own shame. Hey, look around you, nothing has changed.
Oh my God.
Bleeding the same blood and playing into their war games. 1,650 are dying. My government's lying. My sister's been crying.
Ooh, Jesus! That took some effort to stop it. It's like, but I have to say, live on air, Marcia Davis, you know normal, you know.
Oh, me not normal. Me happy for it because I'm just glad that the lyrics that I'm writing are making sense to people. People are feeling it, and there's some kind of resolution for the angst that we put ourselves through.
Tell me about that song, because that song is powerful. Nothing has changed since you wrote that song. Nothing.
Right. Well, Mr. Webb, do not get up again. Stay here. Because Larry Webb is the producer of that song, so he wrote the rhythm. And he put it out.
Take off my hat.
Available on Spotify. And
take off my bald head. See it there?
The entire album is called the 1650.
Yeah.
And what the sad reality of that label is, because in the year that it was produced, 2005, 1,650 people had been murdered in Jamaica that year. And now Jamaica is 800 by 400, and 1,650 people had been killed. And that then all of the other islands, Caribbean islands that year had huge mortality rates by gun violence. And Larry actually called me up, and it says so at the beginning of the song. Yo, the other day, my brethren, Larry Webb, called me and said, and for real, Larry called me and said, if I said 1650 to you, what would you think it meant? Didn't know, I was, made glib jokes. And he told me, and I was like, so he tasked me with writing a song for it. And he gave the same speech to a few other musicians and singers and songwriters. And they came up with all the tracks that are on his album, 1650. And his track is Much Too Long. That's the name of the track, right, Larry? You can speak now.
Now is the time was mine.
Now is the time. I'm sorry. Much Too Long is Smurf's track. I'm so sorry. Now is the time is Larry's song. And myself with Young Man, Smurf has Much Too Long. Danny from Meditations has a song on there. So many.
Ansel has one too, right?
Ansel has one, and Charmaine DaCosta, who I mentioned before, also. Simone G, she also has a song on there. So if you all can, go out to Spotify and get in touch with 1650 album, please.
Tell us about the importance of supporting our artists. Now, I have to come to this because it's been a thorn in everyone's backside, so to speak. Everyone is up in arms about Soulja getting the Grammy. I've listened to the album, and I'm about feel what I hear and what I feel, and I wasn't feeling it.
Right.
However, they got the Grammy, and they have a support system.
Bang.
They have a support system that buys music.
There you go.
You cannot be angry with anyone who has a support system and they're actually going out and spending their hard-earned money to support particular artists. You know, with us, we're too fond of free downloading. And I try to always make the emphasis of supporting artists and buying their music. I don't wait for anyone to send me music. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I know the essence and the importance of supporting the artist. You see where I'm coming from? What is your take on that?
Well, Soulja, for the reasons that you mentioned, deserved their Grammy. They had the support. They had people on the inside of the Grammy, of the Academy there to represent them. And we just don't have that. I think the only person I know that can vote in the Grammys are Andy Basford and Michelle Arterton. Out of everyone I know in the music industry, those two people, they're the only two people that I know can vote. So that's one thing. There's a lot of criteria to do to get that. I understand. An interesting story about Soulja as well is that they came to open for us, Marcia Davis and Outro, in about 2006-07, I believe, at SOBs. And I remember we were supposed to be the main act. So of course we wanted Soulja to go on. Place was packed. We were just so excited. It was, you know, a great night for Marcia Davis and Outro. Soulja performed. We went out to do our performance. There was about 10 people left.
Oh, you're joking.
All their audience came with them. Came from, I forget where they were from Albany or somewhere like that, or Philly, Vermont, whatever, but they came with them. And I was very shocked and humbled and just looked at myself like, what are we gonna do about this, you know? So I guess people have got to read up on the criteria. I've got to download music from platforms where they pay for them, such as Spotify, even though like I've probably seen 0.3 cents from Spotify now, but at least they're paying for their music and so on. Because like you say, if we don't have that monetary support, we're not going to get recognized. And in this business, it's simply all dollars and cents. And that's why I can't bust. And that's why you don't see certain records out there and so on and so forth, because we just don't have the serious foundation that is necessary to bring reggae music in its pure form to the fore with the support. And I don't mean support for me as a New York artist. It's just support me as an artist in any way that you can. I don't need my friends, even though some of my friends are on here right now, and I really respect that. But don't count on your friends for the support. You got to do the legwork, the groundwork, and as I say, you as an individual, support the musical platforms that these things can be bought from.
I always say there's always a huge level of blame that could be attributed in certain directions. When you look deep enough, you'll see it, you know. And one of the avenues where blame can be laid is those who support the wrong kind of music also. You understand? Because if there wasn't a market for certain kind of lewd and violent music, then maybe they'll be forced to change their game. So there can be an argument for that also. Again, the importance of, okay, let me just put it this way. Because quite recently I heard they've taken reggae and dancehall music from the billboards and replaced it with Afrobeat. I give my salute to the Afrobeat artists. We were one of the advocates way before Afrobeat ever became,
Right.
popular. We were pushing it right from 2000 and you name it, from people like Fela and some of the other founding fathers in Africa, way before Afrobeat became the big phenomenon, that it is. Also, showing huge support to dancehall reggae artists, the right kind of artists. Now that it's been taken off the Billboard charts, in your own words, what do we need to do to build back our industry, to gain it back? And I don't want to put words into your own mouth, but I have my own theories.
Well, speaking to studio heads, producers, the people that are behind the music, so to speak, allow us, to use a word I used before, allow us that platform, allow us to be heard again. The writers of what's been called dubbed conscious music, to be vociferous and be tenacious and don't stop. Keep writing that music, keep collaborating with people, and that again, collaborations also, because a lot of the dancehall, hip hop, whatever music in that vein, they do a lot of collaborating. Time for some of us to get together on the labels and collaborate with one another. I see Keisha's gone off now, but Keisha Martin was on here before, and she's another musical sister of mine, and we both recognize that it was in somebody's interest to keep us all apart, to keep like Keisha and I in competition against each other or something like that. And we never went down that road. We were always show up on shows together, do shows together, collaborate with other artists there. And I think that kind of networking and collaboration and being able to bounce off one another, I think that is an important aspect of getting the music listened to. There needs to be cohesiveness somewhere. And if it has to begin on the producer's part, the artist's part, all together, some cohesion needs to happen, or else this thing is going to be taken over by them, whoever them are, the people with the money, and it ain't us. So
let me ask you another question.
Tell me what you think.
Well, I think you make a lot of sense, in terms of what we need to do in order to get it back. However, I don't think we need to dance to anyone's tune. I think we already have the answers. We just need to implement it and find the people who share the same views as us. We can't go to, I mean, if you're going to where the money's at in terms of playing lewd music, people don't even dance like, I don't know if you ever remember where we used to call certain songs wallpaper music.
Yeah.
Wallpaper music meant a man and a woman can dance together in peace and harmony together. Yeah?
Yeah.
And we don't so much see that anymore. Now we see World War III in the dancing mode, and it's like two people fighting each other. It's like, damn, It's like, how much can my eyeball take before I have to switch off?
Yep.
You see where I'm coming from? So it's like men and women are not dancing together anymore. They're kind of off limits. I think we need to gain that integrity back with good songwriting. I've always made a big fuss about songwriting, whether it's dancehall. I remember songs like by Lieutenant Stitchie and another artist like Professor Nuts, Go Where Your Size. Go where your size, girl, go where your size. You know the lyrics. And other songs that made you dance and be happy and that kind of feel. We need to go back to good songwriting.
Larry has a tune like that now. Big you up again, Larry, on your birthday. But Gone Up, that is a song that speaks to that. Larry's new tune, is like cost of living gone up. Rent, it gone up. It speaks to what's happening today, but it's told in such a lighthearted way with fun behind it. Brethren, but the message still comes across straight up. And the amount of times I've heard someone say gone up and then they mention Larry's tune as well.
Yeah.
It just gives me so much pleasure. So I totally agree with you on that aspect,
Yeah. We're going to come to the open mic where we give people the opportunity to ask any questions. Before I do that, I want to give respect to Sharon to see if you want to ask Marcia any questions. I'll hand over to you and then you open it to anybody who may want to ask questions.
Gee, thank you, my best friend. I see you love me, best friend. Yeah. Hug the mic. No, I'm just joking. So, I mean, I knew a lot about you, Marcia, and some things I learned, but again, you've been a great friend. You're an amazing artist. Amazing. One thing I want to say about Marcia, like when you see her performance, she's got her girls on the stage. It's like the friggin' 3 degrees for real. She ain't no joke. She no normal for real. That harmony, must have got it on lock.
Oh, thank you.
It's such a pleasure to see her and her girls. She said, "You my girls. You're beautiful girl."
We vibe on stage, and that's one thing I really admire about the three of us. When we perform on stage and we're together, you can see that we're a group together.
It was just a love and respect of the women, which is big. You know what I'm saying? That's a big thing. There's no competition.
Right.
You know, it's just a beautiful unification of these beautiful Black women on stage, just pouring their hearts out. You feel it in your soul. That's why I love Marcia. It was just such a respect just to watch her do her thing with these women and the collaborations. So I want to say, before I open the gates up, how much I love you, how much I respect what you're doing. I know you got more stuff to do, but I just ask that God continues to bless you on your journey, sister, because I see you so much. I see you and I've been there.
It makes me really, really feel great to hear these compliments and accolades, especially coming from another artist as yourself and somebody who's in this business, who knows what it's like to be me, and can say those things with, okay, I don't think I can continue, but you just said beautiful things that have made my day, dear.
Well,
you've made my day.
I'm saying all of that to let you know, like, you more than boss. You think you haven't, but trust me, you have.
I seen him icon, you know, icon.
No, you have to know that, Marcia. You got to understand the enormity of the things that you've done. And I think that because you did it with a good heart and good intention, it's just like, oh, that's nothing. A big thing what you do. Big. Well, people love working with you. You see Larry Webbing still there. I'm just, come on now.
Still there, right?
Look at Larry, he's still here. That's respect to you. So we honor you this day. Please know how much you are respected in the industry.
Give thanks.
You know, and here's one of the great things about you, Marcia. You know, your name has become synonymous, and I'm saying that because I'm very, very fussy with how I spend my money on my catalog that I have. Yeah, and especially when it comes to your name has become synonymous with quality.
Right.
It's almost like this is how it is. Marcia Davis has a brand new song out, and it's now on iTunes. I don't have to hear it before I buy it. All I do is buy it, and then I hear it.
Yeah.
I know. Before we got onto the show, we had a quick chit chat, you know, over the couple of weeks, and he, the general, mentioned to me what songs he had, and he said, "Do I need to have any more?" I was like, "No, because you had them all." I didn't realize you had the one. You like, no mistakes, and that one I've only just put out. I was like, "Oh, you've got everything." Right. So that really impressed me and made me feel so humbled as well. So thank you.
And I have to, again, before I hand back to Sharon, she's gonna, you know, do the thing with, you know, the audience who's here. I have to give my respect to Michelle Alverton, who is family to me, and she reached out to me and said, you know, to me and Sharon, I think it was, when we were on the phone, and she gave me a long list of artists. Okay, let's get Marcia Davis. I said, yes! Because it's been a while I've been trying to get you on the show. So big respect to Michelle Alverton from New York, E2 Recording Studios. Bless up yourself.
Thank you, Michelle.
Yeah. Sharon, do your thing.
Yes. All right. So I've given you all the love that I can give you. And I now have to say, if there's anybody in the room, let me see who in there. Anybody in the room who would love to ask Marcia any questions, your time is now. This is the greatest of opportunities to speak to
ask you some questions.
So just tell us who you are, where you're calling from, and what question you have for Marcia, please, if you would like to do so. Now is your chance to do that. Anybody?
What a question. Somebody asked.
Don't try.
Anybody?
Okay. Larry's got a question.
I have a question.
Go for it, Larry.
Have you ever, it just dawned on me that I never asked you this before. Have you ever worked with any female producers? And you know, if you haven't, are you open to working with the female producers? Because I noticed that there's not a lot of songs besides the older Cedric's, Pottinger, and the rest of them. I don't really hear of female producers working with female artists as much.
Where then there? For all the people that don't understand Jamaican patois, where are they?
Okay.
Point
question
them
answered.
in the direction, and I will go.
Okay, point taken.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else who would like to ask a question? Anybody else? Now's your chance to do so. You know, it's been a blessing having you on the show, Marcia. You know, I have to say, DJ Maestro.
Hello, good afternoon, blessings each and every one.
Respect you.
Yes, sorry, I came into the party very late, so I missed most of the show. But just to say, Marcia, big up yourself and everyone who's tuning in. Mr. Webb, 10 Star, Sharon,
yes,
Lennon Moore, 29, Nicholas, Beverly Notes, Gary. Anyway, the question is for you, just one question. Who was your biggest influence going into the music industry? Thank you, and that's my question.
Thank you, DJ Maestro.
Thank you.
DJ Maestro, thank you. So that's so difficult to answer because I was introduced at a very early age through music, through records, and I basically listened to everything that my sisters and brothers had. So Dennis Brown, like I'd say number one, because one of the first records I can remember hearing and feeling in my soul was Ghetto Girl. Everybody remembers that. That little girl was born on the ghetto. There you go. And there's a line in it. She's been with many men since she was only 10. And I was 10 at the time. And I was just, oh my goodness. Like I didn't really know quite what it was, but I knew that 10-year-old girl's not supposed to be going around with lots of men and stuff like that. But it made me feel something, like someone can sing about something so horrifying and it sounds so beautiful. And that kind of stuck with me. So Dennis Brown's voice just began my musical journey, I would say.
Everybody
else.
They call him the prince, but I call him a king of reggae music. You know what I mean? So anyway, keep on soaring, keep on going, stretching to your heights, and keep it flowing.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Okay. And DJ Maestro, tell him who you are and what show you do, please.
I do a radio show every Friday from 3 to 5 UK time on Lovers Rock Radio, and I play all kinds of, mainly reggae music. I play.
And Marcia's up your street then.
There you go.
11. So 11 o'clock until.
That's a little bit early for you, I suppose. You know what I mean?
No, it's just good to know, so we can join with working
right.
stuff, so we can definitely listen.
So I'm on tomorrow. So if anybody get a moment or a chance to listen in, then yes, more than welcome.
And Marcia, I'm gonna link you with DJ Maestro, okay? So you can send him some of your music, all right?
Thank you, sir.
This is what this show is about.
Love. Yes, blessed love.
All right.
Okay,
thank you, DJ Maestro. Anybody else would like to say anything? Anybody? Don't be shy. Say something. Lady and Moore.
Yes, sir.
Go for it.
Hello to everybody.
Tell us who you are and where you're calling from, and please go for your question.
Oh, this is Ann Moore, an avid reggae lover, and I'm calling from Florida.
Okay.
I just wanted to find out from Marcia if there's any chance that we'll see you on a stage in a city near me anytime.
Absolutely. And I will reach out to you and let you know. I don't have anything coming up at the moment. However, people have been in my ear about shows because as the world is opening back up, people have been in my ear. So I'm definitely coming to Florida, and when it will be, I don't know yet, but I'm going to contact you, Ann Moore.
Okay.
Great to see you on here, and thank you so much.
You're welcome. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lady Ann Moore.
Thanks.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
I have a
Cooey.
Ooh, Beverly.
Cooey. Greetings, everybody. It's the mad woman again. You hear?
Stop. I thought that was me, Beverly.
No. I join you.
Okay.
Yes, you're a queen, Marcia.
Aww.
You see those few songs that I just heard. I did come here late, but you see the couple of songs that I just heard. Wicked. You blew me away. I mean, I did already know you were good, sis. I knew that long time. But I didn't know these songs here. But I was sitting in here looking at you thinking, I'm going to get a chance to speak to you at last. Yeah? Because a brethren of mine has worked with you. You know Richie Davis, right?
Of course. What do you mean?
Well, Mr. Webb, that's why I wrote what I wrote. Because Richie, I already knew who you were, Marcia Queen. But Mr. Webb, I didn't know about him until Richie told me a lot about him. You know? Yeah, so it's nice to finally meet both of you. You know.
Thank you, Beverly.
Not
Sister
physically.
Beverly.
Not physically, but audibly, you know, I'm able to talk to you both. But it's a fantastic show, and I'm glad that my brother, General Culture, has got you on his show. I really am glad. And I do hope you want to come back on again, you hear? Yeah, I want to make sure.
I will
because,
do.
You know, this is our
she's
thing.
family. She's family. She's inducted as the SPRB family.
Yes, man. I'm family.
We're not that show we're none time at all.
Man. I've adopted everybody here. Yeah. You like it or not, you know, I'm a bit of a bully.
Family.
I think we're all A-type personalities on this right now. So
that's
I
nice,
think it's a wonderful thing. We're getting to vibe like this.
It's beautiful.
You have the name of my sister, so I will never forget you.
Thank you.
Miss Beverly, nice to meet you.
Thank you. Marcia, my mother said anybody named Marcia bad. Talk to me.
I saw that. I put the halo on my head. I was like, oh.
Anybody who named Marcia love fight at school, talk to me. And I know you'd win too, you know. Look for you. You can sing. Anybody who can sing normally win.
Brawl it.
What a thing, Beverly.
I love
it.
I
Beverly,
love it.
Tell us where you're calling from.
You know, some I call from Dirty London.
All right. There you go. There you go.
Right. You know. That place, dirty London, you know how it is here. It's got a history for being dirty, you hear?
Yeah.
You sound like you're the back a while.
Well, sometime I am back a while.
Okay.
You know, when you was talking about St. Anne's, it reminds me of things as well, because my family is up there too.
Okay.
And I normally go up to 9 Mile, and I go to Brownstown and buy fish. Cause them can't fry fish up, they're good.
Right.
You know, but you see your music, Marcia, very topical. Don't change ever. Whether you write it or not, write them or not. You're the vessel. You're the vessel that's singing. Yeah.
Thank you. I pretty much all the music that I put out, I write myself.
Topical.
And, so I've got a couple of others now out. What's it called? No Mistakes in Love.
I think we should hear more.
No Mistakes in Love. And
we make them sometime. Come on.
No. That new song I've refused to accept any mistakes. If it's real love, there's no mistakes.
That's true, you know.
That's my latest one. And I have a cover rendition of Laughter in the Rain.
Really?
Very soon. So
listen, make sure that we get access to these, please.
Well, that'll be up to the producer.
Mr. Webb, are you that?
Nope.
No.
If you were in the beginning.
No, that's the other guy. The other gentleman.
Okay.
We picked up Larry for being one of the great producers, for the person who's got respect and who gives up the music. And
I like his voice
with this. But there are some others that aren't so. And I recorded this song probably 8 years ago, and it's still not put out. But it's coming out. It's
well, the one you did 17 years ago is just like yesterday. You do it.
Yeah. Right.
Right. So keep them coming.
I definitely will.
And sorry, but I'm on a woman tip right here now. Yeah. As woman, we have to strong up with one another. Yeah. So I will support you. I'm gonna find just things, and I'm gonna download what I can find.
I'm on those paying platforms, so if you're a member, you can definitely download.
Me all right, man. Me have a little account going on. Me have little money in there too. Not too much, but me have little money in there. Yeah, but bless you all. You're all beautiful people. You're all my people, and you're all my family, whether you like it or not. Yeah, I've attached myself to you. Yeah.
Respect.
All right. Look under your armpit. You see my head. All right. Bless you all. I've got
respect, Beth.
my pot on fire, please. All right. So, but bless you all,
right.
and I love you all. Okay.
Respect.
All right, Marcia, bless you. Yeah. And Mr. Webb, bless you. Sharon, bless you. Stocky, bless you. Bless everybody.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, man. Go and look about my food. All right. Bless. All right, bless.
Thank you. Anybody else? Anybody else would like to say something at this point? You know, now is the time to do so. We like to give people the opportunity to, you know, say a few words. Go for it.
I'd like to say thank you for each and every one of you for joining, taking this time out of your day, even if you only have it on in the background, just like spending some time with me. It was great revealing some of the personal things about myself. It just felt good to be vulnerable, like I was speaking of before, and knowing that I'm in a safe space and the people here actually like me. So thank you for your
I want to come. I tell you what, I want to come to Larry Webb. I want him to have more or less the last word if no one else has anything to say. Larry, I want you to please just unmute and tell us the kind of lady that Marcia Davis has become. Tell us your thoughts on the lady that you know.
Well, from the very beginning, when she started fronting outro, you know, she had mad respect from me, and I, whenever I could, I supported them on stage, because I look at it that she was a woman fronting a band filled with miserable men, and that's not an easy thing to navigate, you know. And I watched and I heard the contention and the battles and things, and she stood firm. And you know, it's a lot for a woman to run a band and run a family, and you know, and there's some other things that I can't mention on here that I've seen her go through, persevere through, you know. And you know, she has an inner strength. And for a woman in this business, you know, it's sad, but there's still a lot of people, professional people, who are out there who prey on, you know, women in the business. And you know, especially, not everybody has a healthy bank account, but if you have a talent and a skill and a desire to do something, I don't think that there should be any bartering going on, you know, for sex or anything like that. And you know, I've watched her pull through all of that. And just the other day, about 2 weeks ago, I asked her, like, yo, when you're coming back? Because her thing was, boy, I'm tired, you know, more somebody to do this now, and I'm tired of do this. And I just look at her, I'm like, okay, cool. I don't send him because I know better. So now after this interview now, and think, I'm just here sitting thinking to myself, let me see what you're gonna say now. Let me see what you're gonna do now. You know, let me see. But she has my respect. You know, it's a difficult business, and she's trodden the path, and she's an excellent songwriter. You know, I've never had a problem with her, working with her. You know, and I've also given her leeway, you know, in terms, you know, some things that some producers would nitpick about, I don't, because I'm like, okay, if that's your style and your flavor, then it's natural and organic. Let's bring that out. So she has my respect, you know, and I'm glad that she's been outed. And you know, and like I said, let me see what you're gonna do now.
I stand by you, Larry Webb. I stand by you, brother.
I don't know. Rephrase the outed, because I'm not out of anywhere. I was never in anywhere.
Well.
Don't know what you mean by that.
You now know that people out there are feeling you, feeling your music, and things. So you know, you don't have to depend on anything anymore. People out there appreciate what you do. So now knowing that, let me see what you're gonna do now.
Yeah.
Yay.
Right.
I've been challenged.
Thank you, Larry Webb, for your contribution. And
Thank you.
just before we end the show, I must say to, you know, just piggyback off everything that Larry has said, you know, you are phenomenal. I've known you from the first time I met you and spoke to you. And that was on Facebook, you know. We had an interaction, and that was through Michelle Alferton many, many years ago. And here you are on our show today. You know, I've been a big fan of yours. You know, your music speaks volumes. You say more than many of the established artists who are in the industry. And I'd rather hear more from you than them. You see where I'm coming from? Because you speak volumes. I want to encourage you and urge you to never, ever stop.
Can I stop you? Because you've turned into a robot. Something's going on with your sound and you go...
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
It says my connection is unstable, so maybe it's me. Sorry.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
It's still spotty.
Okay. The devil is busy.
Yeah, but we hear you.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Sharon?
Yeah, you're good. You're very clear. It's probably on Marcia's side. Where it's
Okay, Marcia, you can hear me? Okay, it's Marcia. She's frozen. She's frozen.
I'll tell her what it says.
Anyway, you know, Marcia is one hell of an incredible artist. You know, I've loved everything she's done from day one, and we want to encourage her to continue to make this great music, because there's going to be an army of people who's always going to be supporting her. I actually think she's kind of years ahead of herself. I think you said that, Sharon. She's years ahead of herself, and because she's years ahead of herself, maybe she's not able to relate to where she's at right now. But she's years ahead of herself. There's going to come a time where people are going to understand that, you know, Marcia has been saying stuff years ago.
Mm-hmm.
How comes it's just now I'm hearing her music? You know what I mean? So, Marcia Davis, you know, we love you like life, like the air we breathe. Just keep on going, never stop. Don't entertain the thought of stopping.
I will not. And I really respect everything that you've done for me and my career, and the lovely sentiments that you guys have given me today. It was a pleasure to be on, and a sincere pleasure to see all the lovely people here supporting. I really thank you all.
Sharon, where I say before we end the show, where I say, you have the last say something.
Girl, again, you know where we coming from. I'm happy that you see today how much you're loved and respected, right? I'm sure you didn't see this coming, but we are here to celebrate you today.
Right, even though it's Larry's birthday.
Even though it's Larry's birthday, even though Larry's birthday, see how it goes. But we are here to celebrate you, my sister. Keep going. You know, we fully support you. You know me and my posse, the ones that know you from way back. We've always supported you. And we're gonna link up soon. Me and you are gonna do a little thing. We're going to link up soon. We're going to see you soon. And we're gonna do some things, and I 100% need you at my house because there's some things we need to do. So I'm gonna have to invite you over and we'll take it from there. But God bless you, Marcia Davis.
Thank you, brothers and sisters.
On your journey, sister, because your work is not done yet.
Can somebody just one more time sing happy birthday to Larry Webb, please? He deserves strong. Let this be memorable.
Larry Webb.
Sing it. Somebody sing it.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday,
dear Larry.
Happy birthday
To you. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much.
I'll be reaching out to you, Larry, so look out for my message, yeah?
No problem. And I spoke to Sydney about Too Much War, so he's on it.
Amen. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Salute to everyone. We're going to get out of here. Do remember next week. Who have we got next week, Sharon?
Well, Saturday, we have a gentleman coming. What's today? Thursday, Saturday. A very interesting gentleman that I met. Don Connor. He is actually a singer for the tribute band. He actually sings with Teddy Pendergrass. Original band. He was chosen, but this man is phenomenal. Some new tracks. Everybody tune in. You gotta hear this guy's voice. You got to hear this man's voice. That's all I say. Tune in, everybody. Sat there.
I ain't saying anything.
Listen, ladies, please tune in because he's very easy on the eyes too. So tune in and hear what I'm have to say.
Or carry a bucket of ice too.
Yes.
We're out of here. God bless.
Take care.
Greetings, one and all. This is Lloyd Brown, and you are in tune to none other than Stockade Promotions, Royal Blend Radio, the station with a difference.
I tell you what we're going to end the show with. We're going to end the show with this particular track. It's called One Aim, One Love. We're going to end it on a positive tip because Marcia Davis' music is all about positiveness.
Yes.
We can free your people with one word of love. And if you're grateful, get all you dream of. Showing you're able, you're made of the right stuff. Right stuff. We can free your mind with one act of good. Living your life like you know that you should. One aim, one art, one love, and one blood. One blood. Peacemakers, nobody hiding and no tears, warmongers. Created nation of fears and first solidarity. Unity's a must. Make we fight this good fight with your weapons of love. Young daughters, who know fear, respect, who know self and all others. Putting pride upon the shelf. Young brothers, do unto others as to you. Everybody live good. We can free your people with one word of love.
That's all, folks.
And if you're
That's my word. Step aside, babe. Let a star do this. That's one. That's all, folks.
Can I go home now?
I'm 10-star General from Stockade Promotions, and I'm out of here.